Namaste, hi, and this is your Meera here, the Dino in Oasis, Meera's Oasis. It's lovely connecting with people. Every time I talk to one person, there is not just one or two takeaways, loads and lots, because when we are recording or when we are interviewing or when we are having those discussions, I kind of make a note of how they did what they did and why they are doing. The why element is something I really admire. I'm so happy that each and every person whom I came across in my Kaapi and Conversations, or chai and conversations, or coffee and conversations, they have always had that one thought. And what is that thought? It takes into a form to make them create that outcome. And we see the larger picture, and we really do we really care, or do we really bother to go back and see the journey they traveled? I wish to introduce today's guest, but before that, there's a little story that I want to share. Most of us would have heard about it. There was once upon a time, the ship, and the engine wasn't working, and the destination. I mean, all were waiting for the ship to take off, but they were not able to. Then they called an engineer. He came. He came with just one hammer. He went around the ship and he just knocked at one particular place. That's it. The engine started working, and the management was like, "What is the bill that we have to pay for your service?" And this person writes a $10,000 or something really more than that. And the management questions, why should we pay you for just for that one hammer which you knocked it at one random place of the ship? And you didn't even spend even a 5 minutes to on your job. And he says, for 5 minutes for me to figure out where I need to knock, it took really 30 odd years for me to understand. So it's the experience we need to see for someone who is in the limelight or in the spotlight. Yes, welcome Radhika. Welcome to Kaapi and Conversations.
Thank you so much. I am truly grateful. At the same time, I'm really excited and have been looking forward to this. So yeah, I'm looking forward to what you have
You know
today.
what I want to say? I'm a big fan of you. You know, you might say don't call yourself as a fan. You're so humble enough, and you would say that, But I and my daughter, we are a big fan of you. I'm so excited to spill the beans to people about what you do. But I will tell only one word. One word. I was talking about thought. That is an idea, and you are someone who used the beautiful art called dance to transform that idea into what you're doing today. Let us hear about what you do, Radhika.
Thank you so much. I am your words are really kind and they're really lovely. And as you mentioned, like I would still say don't call yourself a fan, because I think we all are at the end of the day art lovers, and life cannot function without art. And what I do is nothing but putting out my art in whatever form that I have learned in. I have learned Kathak for pretty much my entire life now. That is about more than 15 years now.
Awesome.
And the only one thing that I want to achieve, or the only effort that you can say I am taking, is to put out the magic that any sort of art unfolds, the magic in terms of evolving you, the magic in terms of making you realize that there are actually no failures in life, the magic in terms of moving ahead or trying every day, the magic in terms of creating something that you can call at your own at the end of the day, and the magic of being. I think art teaches us how to be without trying to uh, actually, take an effort at it. You just realize that even if you just exist, that in itself is art. And that's my small effort that I try to do through my dancing, is to put out my thoughts and put out the fact that any sort of art that you take up, and by art I mean it can be anything as simple as cooking,
Yeah.
it can be drawing, it can be painting, it can be being a mother, it can be being a wife, a homemaker. Everything, every role that you're playing is actually a part of the art that can transform your life. So you should find your art, and I think that's the best way to then lead your life.
How beautifully you dance with your words.
Thank you.
Especially like that ghumar, you call it as brahmar, right? Brahmar.
Yeah, the Brahmari, the Chakkar.
The brahmari, yes.
Yeah,
You have those 5 taps.
yeah,
1, 2,
yes,
3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3,
correct.
4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yes,
5.
one can. Now
Tikda
I
dik
know you
dik
know
thai.
Kathak. Yes,
You call it as tikda dik dik thai, tikda dik dik
correct.
thai, tikda dik dik thai. Thanks to my Kathak teacher. I would definitely take this opportunity to say thanks to my Kathak teacher, Ms. Neetu ma'am. Wonderful teacher I have for Kathak. In fact, I met her just before our connect also, and I wanted to say, ma'am, I'll come back. But she just looked at me and she understood, yes, you will come back. I know that.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that happens only with classical art teachers. Like whether it's classical music, whether it's classical dance, the bond that you form with your teacher is just something different. It's not an everyday thing. And
Yeah.
most of the times with a certain amount of time that you have spent with your teacher, you don't even need to go and say anything. They just understand. Just the way by you're
Totally.
standing in the class, just the way by you're dancing today, they might just pop up a question, hey, is something wrong today? Or, oh, what's up? You seem really happy today. Your dance is really flowing. So I think, yeah, that's a really great bond to have in life.
You took me back to my timeline 4 years, 4 to 5 years back. Yeah, I kind of learned for 2.5 years. Beautiful. Kathak is one such, like those taps. It helped me to remember the counts, and it really helps children. I mean, we'd say art. How beautifully you spoke about homemaking, cooking, and everything is an art. It's very important. Or let me put it blank, like in capital or in, what to say, in bold. Every art has a science within it, and every science has an art within it. So in the name of sometimes in the education or the subjects that we choose after our 10th standard, we shouldn't be separating science as a separate and art as a separate. Because if you see, for example, our philosophers, they come from science background. If you see from our great people whom we have placed in science or in the math side, or we call it as a logical side or so, they have a lot of philosophy and art behind. So I
Definitely.
think it's so beautifully you shared, and it took me just back me to those Brahmari, definitely.
Yeah.
And how I draw a line of parallel, I'll tell you. It's very important for a teacher to understand. You don't have to always express मतलब what is my state of mind, but teacher जब देखते ही पकड़ लेते हैं ना कि अरे क्या है, सब ठीक है, अगर आज ठीक नहीं है तो ठीक है, चलो आज एक दिन ब्रेक ले लो, देख लो आप कि कैसा चल रहा है आज का प्रैक्टिस, and then you can always come back. And that's how, even in the organizations, for that matter, when people are working, Radhika, a team manager, or you call it as a mentor, and a team member, sometimes it so happens that a team member is not in a position to share what they want to share. And it's very important for a manager or the mentor to listen to those unsaid words.
Yeah.
And that is what is art, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think you're right. I think it's I don't know, I was talking with someone about this very recently, that how we have like since a very early stage in our life, we have been taught to make compartments. This is science, ye
Yeah.
art hai, ye dance hai, ye sangeet hai, ye hai. But if you see, it's nothing that you can actually separate it with, because
Yeah.
things are mixed, and that is how they need to be looked at. We need to stop drawing in lines and let actually people discover what that particular thing, what science means to me, or what art means to me, or oh,
Yeah.
maybe it's a combination of both. And that even applies to, like, it saddens me when people say that, there is no art in the corporate sector. Corporate sector is very tough. Corporate sector is
That's
straight.
why we have a lot of trainings now. Art of negotiation,
Yeah,
art of
correct.
art of
Exactly. So
connecting.
I feel actually more than anything, corporate sector, like you said, the manager needs to understand the unsaid words, because
Yeah.
it is only then that he or she will be able to lead a very successful team.
And you know what? That's where the chemistry builds. The science also comes in.
See, so that is why I think this compartmentalization that we do since a very early age, unfortunately, should be changed. I know it's easier said than done, but I think even as people like us who understand this, need to inculcate this in our children, and not try to compartmentalize things for them. Let them find out what something means to them, or what something can shape out for them. So I think
Absolutely.
that is in itself art again. Letting be
Definitely.
is, yeah.
Letting be so apt. Okay, let me ask, how did Kathak happen to Radhika? Or Radhika, how did she find Kathak?
I would say I'll say the other way around. I think Kathak has found me, to be very honest, and this is a really interesting story. So, in our house we have a radio. It still exists with
Okay.
us. And back in the time when I was two, these Madhuri Dixit songs used to play. They were like really
Ah,
famous, and I used to start dancing. And my parents noticed this, and my mother took me to a Bharatanatyam class, which was
okay.
nearby.
Okay.
2 days into the class, I came back crying and I said, I don't want to do this. And
Okay.
then I took my mother to this one class I had seen in my area. As a
Okay.
2.5-year-old kid, I took her and I pointed at the window and said, that
Okay.
Didi inside, I want to do that. And
Okay.
then she found a good Kathak class.
Okay.
And uh, I was so engrossed in it after school, after all the classes, the tuitions. I was never tired to do the class. And then one day it happened so that the class was slightly far away. So that my mom used to drop me and pick me up from there. And I started around when I was 3.
Okay.
And one day she fell ill and she said, today I cannot drop you to the class. And it used to be a 2-hour class. I cried for the entire 2 hours sitting
Oh my God. Okay.
besides her. And I was like, no, I want to go to class. Like now I'll miss the class and everyone will learn something new. And that is the day I think I, as a child, realized that this is something that is really important to me. It's not
Um,
just a hobby. And eventually I started placing my life's choices around it. So I took commerce because I
okay.
wanted time to dance. I did not
Okay.
do CA, even if my aptitude test suggested one. My parents wanted me to get it done, like all the right things in the society. I said no, I'll do a simple plain graduation because I need time to dance. Then I
Okay.
did a simple plain masters that I'm completing right now because I wanted to dance. And
Okay.
then I started making every choice around it. I remember as a child, I never had friends apart from dance class because
Okay.
slowly my dance classes started increasing. From twice a week it
Mhm.
became thrice a week, and then 4 times a week. And
Okay.
then after those 4 times you really did not have time for anything else in the evening. So there were times when I used to watch other kids and I used to feel like, even I want to play, or I want to go to birthday parties and all that
Oh,
stuff. But now that I look back, I'm grateful that it didn't stop me and deter me back from doing what I was doing, because my love for it was so intense that I kept doing it. And then in the middle, suddenly I had to take a break for an year because I got detected with bronchitis.
okay. Okay.
And that year was like, I might be in the 7th grade or something, and it was mentally really upsetting for me. I
Uh-oh.
could not do well in the things I used to do well because my constant thought was I want to get back to dance. And then I eventually got back at it, and then fortunately it has not stopped, and I hope it does not
It
stop.
will not. It will not. I think, like you mentioned, more than you finding it, Kathak has
Yeah.
found you, and Kathak will not leave when once it has found somebody. And I also take this opportunity to thank your parents for being
Yeah.
that support. I'm sure all parents will be supportive in some or the other way. But
Yeah.
when it comes about passion, when it comes about a child's interest, parents always want to give their best. And in the course of giving the best, it so happens that they would look at something which would take care of the children academically or professional courses, then rather looking at these art or something which is related to this particular domain. They would think,
Correct.
क्या करोगे ये सब्जेक्ट लेके, क्या करोगे तुम नाच के? ऐसा उन्होंने ने आपसे बोला नहीं, बल्कि उन्होंने क्या बोला, चलो आपको डांस
Yeah.
पसंद है, चलो यू मेक समथिंग आउट ऑफ इट. और इसके वजह से अगर आपने कॉमर्स लिया, कॉमर्स इज आल्सो नॉट इजी. I mean, just because you said you wanted to take it something light. I'm sure people जो सुन रहे हैं कॉमर्स बोलेंगे राधिका
हाँ हाँ,
आपके
नहीं
लिए
नहीं,
कॉमर्स
it is
आसान है,
not
हमारे
light.
लिए नहीं है.
No, 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 it is not light. I have realized that nothing is light, honestly. It's
हाँ
just
जी.
not science that is tough. It's
Yeah.
everything that is tough. But I think I'm really grateful to them because they said that, okay, you take it up. And then
हाँ.
whatever are the consequences, just be prepared to face them. Like, even if
Yes.
it does not work out, be okay with it. Okay, you tried and it did not work out. So that
हाँ.
is it. Be adaptable to change, is what they have always
So
told.
true, I mean, it's very nice, that message has been given. Be responsible for the choice that you make. And once for any child during their adulthood or in the childhood, जब बता देते हैं, be responsible for what you take. I'm sure every child will have a plan B if in case their current plan is not working. And that kind of builds in a kind of a confidence now to take again that brave step. क्योंकि वो बोलते हैं ना कॉन्फिडेंस और ब्रेव का जो अंतर होता है वो स्टेप लेने में होता है, मतलब जो वो हम स्टेप जब लेते हैं.
Yeah. And even if, like, I have realized this over a period of time, that even if you don't have a plan B in place, so I have been a person who has been always really, at planning. I like things to be planned to the T. I love to know what is going to happen tomorrow, and then day after tomorrow, and then day after tomorrow. And now, eventually I've started realizing that it's okay to not know. It's okay to not know what might come up tomorrow.
I'm seeing that often in those Instagram reels में जहाँ पे आजकल आप वो caption डालते हैं.
हाँ. Yeah, I've been putting it out often because I have also been changing and evolving in terms of my thought processes. We have realized that until and unless, and I think this is what my father has taught me, until and unless you're ready to accept the change and adapt. Okay, ये नहीं हो रहा है. I have given it my best. I will try to do something else. Until and unless you don't let the not working out take out the will out of you, you can do something and you'll do something. So it's actually about taking up life as it comes, because I think this hit me really hard when pandemic hit us. And I realized that shit, there is nothing that's certain. And we always know this. We know that change is the only constant. It's easier said than done. But
pandemic gave us the hard way out.
Yeah, it was the hard way. It made me realize that a single virus has made the world come to a standstill.
Yes.
People cannot step out. Everything is closed.
Everything.
I mean, businesses who did like phenomenally well. I see in Pune, there are so many shops that are shut now because they could not survive the 2 years. And no one would have thought, like, big showrooms are shut down. And that made me realize the most successful things.
Malls, which were never used to be shut down, they used to, it used to be non-functional morning between, between 1 o'clock after the last show in the mall till like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
It used to be otherwise back-to-back functional.
Yeah. And you did not imagine a life where you're not going to the theater or you're not going to an
auditorium. When we think about those days, seriously.
It's so, but see, look at the world. It came out of it.
Yeah.
Everything's back to normal.
And that is the time you sowed one idea. Might be you were a bit doubtful. And आज जब हम देखते हैं उसका जो रूप आज हम देखते हैं, I mean, mind blowing.
Thank you. Yeah. That is when I actually started my page, and the aim was just to put my riyaz in discipline and try and create something. And I was a person who used to be really scared of putting things out. I used to wonder a lot, what would people say, how it might look, am I doing well, where will this go, and am I doing the right decision by taking it up as a career? Because I was seeing all my friends getting secure jobs, and even today when my friends get like secure jobs, they're moving abroad to do their MS, and there are days when I question, okay yaar, kya le liya humne, there is no stability, there is this, and then I realized, but at the end of the day I'm happy. When I go to sleep, I don't crib about working 8 hours a day. That's the kind of life I imagine. I'm happy dancing 8 hours a day.
Lovely. Then dance reels, Radhika. Like I said, I don't miss a day. I'm sure I've been following your work for close to a year or little less. I don't want to say that little less. I'll say almost a year. And I and my daughter, we just enjoy. And my daughter kind of picks up those mudras, she holds like this. And she tries to say the japtal also, which that was the last thing which I was learning. And मेरे को याद नहीं है मैं मतलब क्या कर थोड़ा बहुत याद है लेकिन ये हमेशा बार बार करके जब मैं when I just take my phone to record it, she will realize I'm about to record and she will stop. So but I enjoy that bliss, and आज भी कुछ वो भ्रमरी कर रही थी. She couldn't get that, tikda tik tik thai, but she was like tai. She just went on and then she was trying to remember. And she said, did Didi put video? I said, yeah, today we'll see. That's the connect we have. And connecting, like Radhika, whether at home or on the work front, ideas, the thoughts that we give a shape to it. अगर हम उसका cosmetic वगैरह डाल के उसको thought को एक outcome बनाएंगे तो that is an outcome. उसका एक रूप देते हैं. And the same idea को if we fill it up with a makeup called self-doubt, if we fill it with the idea called ये सच्ची में मैं कर पाऊंगी क्या? ये करके क्या फायदा? मेरे को क्या बोलेंगे लोग? Like you said, no, what will people think about me? But you thought about it. You address that thought, but you didn't live in that thought.
Yeah.
That's exactly a message, I really feel like as a takeaway for each of us. सब में एक ना कुछ thought आता है. There are a lot of homemakers, there are a lot of people who've been working in the corporate who've taken a break for some or the other reason. And they always want to bounce. They always want to take up another job. Or they might be wondering, what do I do? मेरे में क्या हुनर है? ऐसा question सोचते हैं. So, and you gave such a beautiful analog about, वो idea को take that step. That's what it is. Confident तो सबके सब रहते हैं, लेकिन एक जो step हम जो life में लेते हैं, that is what is all about being brave.
Yeah.
And you didn't bother about how you look in front of the camera. I mean, there is no doubt you look graceful, you look beautiful. वो आंगन, my God,
Yeah.
backdrop,
Yeah.
that's so beautiful. Whatever is the background, people are just glued to you, Radhika. I'm sure. Yeah, I see so many comments, like people 700, 800 comments, and I wonder when will Radhika get time to see, or is she just got to swipe it, like thash karke dekhe bahar.
No. I sit, I read each of them. I reply
Yes.
whenever I
I
can.
saw that.
Do personalized replies because A, I'm really grateful, and B, I've realized that, like over this journey that I have now traveled, and I reached a point where I am no more scared of creating, and I'm no more scared of failing. Like there are days when I create things and they don't work out, but I still put them out because that is what I have done for the day.
And you know what? I was one of those 200, 300 comments जब मैंने आपको लिखा था कि I would want to talk to you. मतलब it was so nice. I was wondering, there was कुछ तो था दिमाग में, मतलब she will read. I'm sure she will respond. So
Yeah.
that was so nice. And this is definitely a message for people, like you all might be wondering, you all have so many ideas. हम सोचते हैं ना राधिका, like if I put this idea to somebody, will they really listen? And you gave that message, like don't bother whether people is listening or not. Don't
Are you
bother
listening
what.
to it? Are you
Yes.
listening to your own idea?
Yes.
Are you
I think I will
letting
just
it
jump out
breathe?
of this chair now.
Are you letting it breathe? I've realized that, we are really, as human beings, we are really scared of the outcome because we're too attached to it, because we attach our worth to the outcome. The moment you remove your worth and you separate the outcome, life becomes easy. You breathe into your idea, you believe in it, you work hard for it, because things don't come easy. And that is one thing that I would like to put it out to people who have ideas. Know that it is not going to come easy. The moment you put your idea out, there will be 10 people first that will tell you that no, this idea is shitty. And you will have to go through 10 and 100 and 200 people before you meet the 300th person who will come and say, no, there seems to be some point. And then the 400th person will come and say, oh no, I like it. And then so on. So be ready to be rejected, be ready to not get it easy. And when you know, then that's more easy, because now when people say or look at my page, they see the count or they see how far it has come. But I have screenshots of the day, and I'm not even kidding you, when I had 1 follower and then 100 of them and then 500 of them. So, and that time I used to create and work every day, and I used to think, why is no one like paying attention to this? And then I realized, oh, how many days I've done? Okay, 1 month. Fine. Let's move. Let's do this for consistently. Like, so I think you
have actually unconsciously, Radhika, apne pata hai kya kya bola. You spoke about outcome. Achieve the outcome in a detached way. Follow the path. Even if you question yourself, go ahead and take that step. Consistency. I mean, these are the key elements, Radhika. I mean, you brought the science of the art.
Yeah. See, there is science and art.
Yeah. Radhika, see, whenever I'm with my guest, I never want to end the show. And I definitely do not want to end the show. But yes, every good thing, it ends again to start with yet another chapter.
Yeah.
What is that? Something that you want to share quickly? Matlab, dekho, Meera, this is a message I've been wanting to tell people. And ye baat hai. What is that?
I would suggest that learn to love yourself and love your art, love your idea, and be ready to travel miles for it. If you are ready to travel miles for it, people will. But if you are not, you're going to sit, doubt it. There's no one else who is going to come and pick you up, because life is a solo journey. So start being your own hero. I think that is what I'll put out.
It's beautifully put. आपने बोल के ऐसा छोड़ दिया, like I'm just still in a trance. You know what, Radhika, मेरे को वो exactly वो words या मुहावरे में बोलते हैं उसे, मेरे को याद नहीं आ रहा है. वो क्या बोलते हैं, मंजिल मतलब मिले या ना मिले, लेकिन अ, क्या बात है जिसने वो घर से कभी निकला ही नहीं.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. Like, what is the maximum that will happen? You will fail. And then
It's an
you at least
experience.
understand that the idea did not work out. Every failure teaches you so many things. You'll come up with a better idea next time, but you need to travel for that. You need to see where it's going. You cannot sit and predict. You'll have to move.
Oh God. Lovely copy and conversation I had with you, Radhika. Thanks a ton. And, wish to add just few words before closing this show. Ideas. It's over to you people. It's over to all of us to think about how we shape that idea. What kind of an attire we plan to put to that idea, whether we want to look at it as an outcome or as an opportunity, or do we just have to look at it as, can I really, with only self-doubt and parking that idea with just rust somewhere in our lifetime, and all of a sudden we think about it, maybe that day I should have still looked at that idea, I should have worked on that, should have embraced whatever came my way. So don't get into that. It's easy for me to say. You might say, Mira, what? I mean, you would say this and just go away from the show. But no, even I have also gone through it. Radhika has gone through it. So with this, we are closing the day. I mean, this particular show, Aaj Ka Kaapi and Conversation with a beautiful Kathak dancer, Radhika. I will be sharing about her in the description. I will be sharing the link to her page because I would want so many more people to follow her beautiful work. It is just not the dance. If you think she's just dancing, she is connecting the tool called dance with so many elements. Go and find it out for yourself. Namaste, and thanks to all of you for always showering me with your wishes and blessings and suggestions. This is Meera signing off in your Dino in Oasis podcast. Meera's Oasis. Namaste.